Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 58 of the video messages that we're putting out for this presidential election here in the United States for 2016. I want to talk to you for just a minute about something that goes on not only here in America but worldwide that a lot of people never address, especially our politicians here in America. And it's called social terrorism, otherwise known as bullying. And we're not talking about just little kids picking on other little kids about being overweight or the way they look or the way they dress to go to school or, the way they talk or whether or not they have any kind of deformities or not. That is all got to stop. We have to teach our children with respect. But the worst thing that's going on in this country right now is social terrorism by adults. And let me give you just a minute and explain just a little bit about what I'm talking about, and it should be illegal. The way they get around this is called freedom of speech. They can put anything online about you and use the words, I think, apparently, my opinion, or whatever, in order to make it freedom of speech and harass the normal citizen of this country. To give you a prime example of exactly what I'm talking about a woman down there in Tampa, Florida, named Carol Baskin. She's married to a man named Howard Baskin, and they run a place called Big Cat Rescue of Tampa, Florida. She has a website called 911animalabuse.com, and she is harassing 180 people on a daily basis. She puts them on this website. Whether she agrees or disagrees with whatever they're doing, it doesn't matter. So she uses all these fancy words like I think, it's my opinion, unfortunately, stuff like that in order to get around the problem that it's freedom of speech in order to harass people. Now, you gotta ask yourself simply, how long does it take before you push somebody that's a little mentally unstable over the edge to walk into a movie theater and start capping people, or walk into a church because she finally pushed you over the edge? Or out of 180 people, when's it finally gonna happen that somebody is gonna walk into Big Cat Rescue and mow down all of those volunteers that are drinking the Kool-Aid and believing the shit that she's pouring while she's out there safe, and all these people get hurt because she is bullying 180 people on the internet, ruining their good name and ruining their business, all in order to make money. Meanwhile, while she's online slandering and bashing everybody else and making almost $400 million a year doing it, she's ruining everyone else's name and everything else. But what she tends to forget when she's building these kind of websites is she forgets to put on there that she was recently just written up by the state of Florida for 77 violations of the Florida Code and the Animal Act in order to keep her animals safe and secure in those rusty cages down there in Tampa, Florida. Along with, she doesn't put on there how many people have been injured at her facility or the animals that have escaped and run around there in Citrus Park down there in Tampa, Florida. But she'll get online and she will label you as an abuser, which is a criminal act, ladies and gentlemen. With her simple opinion, you are now labeled an animal abuser for the rest of your life on the internet, and you have never done anything wrong or been charged with any kind of an animal crime. Okay, but people like her are one of the most dangerous in this country because they are online bullying people and ruining people's names and pushing people quite to the edge that they will do something drastic. Now, on her website, she states that she would like to put herself out of business. Unfortunately, to put herself out of business, that means that she has got to get rid of all the animals. But the problem that I see with this is somebody that's wanting to put themselves out of business is increasing over $500,000 every year by social terrorism of other animal owners. Here's a little snip from her website where one of her employees is on a video saying that all monies goes to the care of the animals except for a small expense to cover administrative costs. Out of over $3 million, ladies and gentlemen, only $600,000 went to take the care of over 100 big cats, according to her website in her 990s that she turned into the government, and over $2.8 million that was taken in off of your hard-earned money that you donating to take care of tigers and lions and other big cats went to paying lobbyists, donating it to the Humane Society of the United States in order to have hush-hush money. And the best part is $250,000 of that $2.8 million went to payroll to everybody that's in her family. You don't see anybody on this list that was turned into the IRS of anybody making any money off of that $3 million other than Murdoch, Stairs, and Baskin. Those are all her family, ladies and gentlemen. This is a lucrative business, okay? Well, you gotta ask yourself, if social terrorism is not a money-making operation, why does she have 6 nonprofits and 1 for-profit? And here's a timestamp from a Wacky Way website machine going back to show you where Carole Baskin put on her notes that she is applying for a non-tax status from one of her nonprofits in order to not have to pay property taxes or any other kind of taxes. So here we go back to the nonprofit status again to just get around making $3 million a year and not paying any taxes, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of my main bitches about nonprofit organizations and scamming you, the American public, to not have to pay taxes on making a profit of $3 million a year. And you wonder where the hell your Social Security money's going, and you wonder why the hell you can't afford to pay your bills or anything else after paying all this money in for 40 and 50 years, because you got people just like her down there in Tampa, Florida, raking in over $3 million a year and not paying a penny in taxes, whether it's property taxes on the rent houses she's buying and putting them under another nonprofit, or if it's taxes that she should be paying on that $3.5 million that she's taking in off of slandering and harassing other people right here in America. And you know, she goes one step further than even America. She is picking on an African Lion Foundation clear down there in Africa. And that is one of my main points of being invited to go to Africa, is to help open up some of this scam, lies, and bullshit that's going on in the animal industry. Now, don't get me wrong, I am strictly not for the animal industry. I am going to stick up for every American that would like some change in this country. We do not have one politician that has the balls, the audacity, or the mouth to stand up for the American people that's getting screwed by nonprofits and crooked politicians that are taking money from lobbyists such as Carole Baskin in order to vote and make shit against the law to take away your rights, all in the name of greed and profit. And once again, you'll never see me put anything out on one of these videos that I don't have the proof to back up the stuff that spoots out my mouth. She even wrote a book, The Manufacture to Becoming a Millionaire. And she states in this first page of this book that she didn't become a millionaire writing books. You bet your ass she didn't. She become a millionaire by this little article that come out in People's Magazine, okay? A missing millionaire by the name of Don Lewis. And even his own kids think that she fed him to a tiger, ground him up, and they were quoted in this article in People Magazine that they were upset because the police refused to DNA test her meat grinder. Last thing I'm going to show you a little bit about hypocrisy of people that are rich in this country, along with social terrorism, is here's another snip from her website, ladies and gentlemen. She is on 911 animal abuse, complaining about places such as Zootastic making money off of Christmas lights in their zoo and stuff like that. Hell, I couldn't even get a snip of the entire page of Big Cat Rescue of how many different ways that they are making money exploiting the exact same animals that she is online bitching, harassing, and defaming people's good name that can't afford to sue her ass. And in order to stop this social terrorism, I couldn't even fit them all on one page of how Carole Baskin and Howard Baskin down there at Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, Florida, is pimping out their animals in order to make over $3 million a year off of you, the American public that love animals, and you have no choice but to think that the donations that you're making online actually goes to help animals. If you want to help animals, ladies and gentlemen, don't send your money to me either. Make sure that you go to a place and you see firsthand what the hell's going on, and visit some other places and compare them together and see what they're doing. But my recommendation is go down to your local shelter in your own town Just because they're named the Humane Society does not mean that they're affiliated with the Humane Society of the United States. They get no funding from the Humane Society of the United States. So go down to your local shelter and donate your money there so you can see where it's going and what it's doing to help animals. Quit giving this shit to people online, just like 911 animal abuse, that doesn't put your own statistics online to show you that they're just as big a hypocrites as anybody they're talking about. I'm Joe Exotic, and be sure and get on joeexotic2016.com, ladies and gentlemen, and support the movement of the little people in this country that have never had a voice, and the people that are getting screwed simply by people like this that are making $3.5 million a year while you scrape and scrounge in order to pay your bills because they're not paying taxes. Joe Exotic for president, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow for video message number 59.